Awesome. We are finally live. Guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this live event or recording. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. In this live streaming events, we are going to discuss the latest product updates and the use cases and have a live Q&A with the founder or their team. So, guys, I don't want to waste your time. Let's dive into it. So, without further ado, let me welcome our today's live show guest, Mr. Sumant, CEO and founder of Qualetics, and Mr. Sahil, Director of Business Development, Qualetics. So, Sumant, what are you going to showcase today?
Hey, Swapnil. Glad to be back, and thank you for giving us this opportunity. I know we are extremely short on time, so we'll just get right into it. As these are our last few weeks on PitchGround, we want to make sure that we are showcasing all the latest updates on our platform. So today we'll just briefly share a few updates that we have been working on this week. So it has to do with a few new insights that we launched, and also some general platform enhancements that we have done on the site. And also we are open to take any questions in the time that's available.
Awesome. So let's dive into it.
Cool. So let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So in our previous sessions, we have covered what the Qualetics platform is about. How do you get connected into the Qualetics platform? What do you connect into the Qualetics platform? Several times. So I will not go back again into that. Just to summarize that, Qualetics can be connected to any SaaS application, whether it's a web application, a mobile application, or a software application, to collect activity data at a very granular level, so that you can understand several aspects of your applications and users from that data. We have in our past videos, we have shown how to connect into the platform and what kind of documentation is available. So all of this is available on our website and on our documentation site. So please go and check it out. For those that are familiar with the platform already, so what you're looking at now is basically the product analytics section of the Qualetics platform. What we're looking at right now is one example account that we have set up for demonstration purposes. And this is a product analytics section. Similarly, there are other sections which is the software quality analytics, as you can see, which showcases all of your software quality metrics. And then you also have other sections where you can create your own custom overview screens such as this one. But first, let me go into the product analytics section and talk about what are the updates that we've done. So we've received some feedback about the resolution issues with this screen, and there was some certain resolutions there was some overlapping happening on these insights. So that has been fixed, and now you get a much more wider screen with these insights and more optimal use of real estate. So you can see all of the insights properly here on the screen. So we have fixed those resolution issues as a first update. Then we've also given several convenience features, such as creating your own preferred homes pages, and we've talked about that in the last update. So, for example, as you know, Qualetics can be connected to multiple customer instances or development instances, and also multiple applications. So what you're seeing here now is an overall platform level view of all your data, and you can also zoom into specific applications that you've connected into. Right now, my default home screen is not this master view; rather, it's a specific screen. So if I click on the home page, sorry, this is.
So we can create multiple dashboards based on the data that we want to see, right?
Sorry, Swapnil?
So we can create multiple dashboards. Okay.
You can. Yeah, I will be going into that also.
Okay.
So right now, our default homepage is set as this screen, but I can zoom into a specific custom page, and this can be set as our homepage now. So if you see here, when I click on this one, I can go to this to my product analytics page as my homepage. I can also go into my software quality analytics page, and if certain users, certain type of technical users want to see the software quality analytics as their standard homepage, they can just set this as default, and then they can go to that page. So then the product analytics page is not your standard homepage anymore. So this kind of a dynamic, we call this the dynamic homepage function, is available on all of these product analytics, software quality analytics, and search analytics page also. Search analytics is not enabled for this account, but for the customers that have search analytics, they can do that on that also. In addition, you can also do that on the favorites that you create and the dashboards that you create also, such as this, for example. So this is a dashboard that I created for my own specific viewing purposes, and I can set this as my standard homepage. I can also go into the favorite insights. I'll show how we can create the favorite insights in a little bit. I can set this as my standard homepage as well. So anytime you set anything as your homepage, that becomes your standard view, and then it replaces the previous view that you have. So this is to allow that, so that different users can look at data from different angles, and then pay attention to the data that matters to them, versus all of us having to go to the same homepage when we log into the site.
Are there any limits that how many desktop or sorry the dashboards we can customize, or it's like
No,
unlimited?
it is unlimited. You can create as many dashboards as you want. We have not, even for the free accounts, you have unlimited amount of dashboards that you can create. As you know, Swapnil, the only limitation that we have is around the data volume, and that data volume is also, we don't restrict any incoming data volume. If a customer connects their application and suddenly it spikes from 10,000 to 100,000 events, we don't want to be limiting that data in any way. The only time the data volume restrictions come into picture is when you're fetching the data. So if you want to, if you're on the free tier or any of the lower tiers, and you're sending hundreds of thousands of records every day, you may not be able to see all of that data onto the platform because of the data limits on your account. But once you upgrade to a higher level, or if you go with the higher level, you will be able to see all of the data.
But how user will come to know that there is a data exit happen? Right? Are you sending any kind of notifications like, so these are your limits and now you're getting this much of the data. So if you want to get the insights of all that data which is coming.
Yes, we are. So the moment you start exceeding the volumes that are set by you, this account does not have it, but you will see an alert pop up here that says that there's a data limit alert. At that point, it is not yet restricting it. It is just alerting you that you're reaching up to the volume. And if a user wants to know how much data they're streaming, we also have, it'll be part of that alert where it'll send them to that page, but we also have a screen where you can go and look at their account stats, where it'll show you like which account, which application is sending how much data on a daily basis. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not the right one. Give me 1 second. Let me get there. This is the one. So as you can see, this is an account stats screen where you get to see all the different applications that are streaming data. What is the daily record count that is streaming, and you can order it by the ones that is sending the highest amount of data. So you can see this one application is sending a huge amount of data. And if your account exceeds um, the limit that it's set up to, then you will get a warning alert here that says there's a data limit alert, and it'll give you options to either upgrade, or you can control the volume of data that you're sending from your application.
Got it. But it's a little confusing because you're showcasing the data date-wise, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if anyone wants to see the limits for that particular month, right? So, can you just have that arrangements over there on the dashboard wherein they can see the total consumptions for that particular month?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that is a good suggestion. We will add that so that it'll show the percentage of consumption for that time period, and it'll alert them. It's actually going to automatically alert them when they are hitting that. Right now, I'm well within the range, so I'm not getting any kind of alerts. But once the moment I start, getting close to like 90% or 95% of that volume, I'm going to get like two things. One, I'm going to get an email notification saying that I'm like close to that volume. Second, I'm going to get an alert here on the top that says that I'm using up most of the volume. Right now, this is not this means that I'm not in any kind of uh, risk of like going over my specified volume.
But that
But
could
we
be
will.
a good option. Like if you just, summarized everything on the top bar, like you have the titles, right?
Mhm.
So on that title, you can just put one box stating like a sum of uh, whatever date selection that we're doing. That could be a summarization of each, something like that.
Yes, we will do that. Yes. Yep.
Because right now what we are doing is we are offering events per day,
Hmm.
so that sometimes people calculate based on the number of days in that particular month, right? Or it's 30 days, right? So for
Right.
example, plan A offers 3,000 events per day, so 3,000 into 30 days. So,
Mhm.
so it will be more it, it will give more visibility towards their data that okay, so this much is the consumption, this much is the left from my
Understood. And I think we already have a solution for that, and which will be coming up pretty soon. Hopefully, in our next week's webinar or live streaming, we should be able to show that insight also with that percentage usage utilization and what is left of.
Awesome, awesome.
All right. Um, and then I also wanted to just quickly go over some new insights that I wanted to talk about. So we talked about the different kind of management features, and also from an application data point of view, whether you are a B2B app or whether you're a B2C app, understanding your user engagement is an important factor. So let us talk about a B2B app, for example. So our B2B app, in a B2B scenario, you have multiple businesses using your application, or you have multiple applications that you're managing as a portfolio. In that sense, if you want to understand how the utilization is going across all of those different applications, we have an insight called engagement score. This engagement score is something that gives you an overall view of what your application stack or your client portfolio is looking like. In this particular case, I have our website, then we have like this demo blog site, we have an AI demo site, and also a documentation website. So what I'm doing here is if you treat each of these as an individual client, I can see what is the level of utilization on all of these sites. This utilization is relative to the total number of users on that site. So if you see, our website has a higher amount of traffic, and then this shows like what is the utilization. Relatively, this blogging site has a lower amount of traffic, but given within those parameters of that lower user population, there is high engagement. So that is why this particular site is trending high. This demo site, which is for AI, it is a sample once. We only use it for demo, so that's why it's low engagement. And the documentation site also, relatively, it is lower compared to the other two sites. So this is what it shows. And when you click on any of these sites, it tells you, it gives you a breakdown of like how um, how the score is achieved. We can see that as far as the um, website is concerned, we are looking at where the score is mainly contributed with return users and time spent. Inactive users brings down the score, and average session time brings down the score. Similarly, if I go to the diagram site here, the growth of the score is contributed by the screen flow, which is basically how many screens is a user interacting with. So the more number of screens they interact with, the higher the screen flow score. The session frequency is high, and the inactive users is low, which is why it is a green. So this actually is the reason why this particular application is having a higher engagement score. And you can look at this across multiple time frames. By default, we show this for the latest 7-day time period. This score is calculated daily, so every day you will see a change in the score, and it will tell you the score is going to tell you what is the increase in the score compared to the last period. So this is about if you are a B2B company, or if you're a company that is running a business which has multiple applications, you can use this to understand the level of engagement across your application stack or across your client portfolio. Okay.
So we can get the metrics like cross domain wise or the similar domain. Like if any e-commerce website is there, right? They also
Mhm.
have native Android app or the iOS app. So in that
Mhm.
cases, they can see how much traffic is coming towards their apps or the web app. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it goes beyond the traffic. It's not just tracking the traffic,
Yeah,
because I think traffic,
everything.
yeah, it's not just traffic. Like once the traffic comes into your app, how at what level of engagement are they using your app? And that is the one that it's going to say. So you have a lot of users but very little engagement. You have very few users but a very high engagement. So I think one is a positive thing, the other one is a negative thing. So you need to like look into both of those.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is one, and then all of the standard features that we have for all insights, like being able to embed this, share it, subscribe to changes in this data, and also export this into different formats, and also save this. Like for example, what I was saying earlier was, if I um, let's say I put a filter here. Let's say I put a filter and say, no, client name contains. So I only get these two sites. So now I've narrowed my data down to just the documentation in the public website. So between these two, again, if you see the website is a higher engagement, so it shows up as a bigger one. I can save this as engagement score. Now this becomes a favorite insight, so it is available on my favorites. And this automatically selects for the last 7 days. I can set this as my default view, and then it takes me to the default view as soon as I log in. So this is one way we can create favorites and then go to this. Okay.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I also want to talk about two other new insights that we added. So till now we were talking at an applications platform level, stack level. Let me zoom into one of our applications. So let me go into this blogging site. Give me 1 second.
So there are a few questions coming in. So let me just populate that question,
Sure.
and then we go to the next demonstration.
Okay.
So Soumya is asking like, what about bots coming as traffic? Would it be recognized bots?
That's a very good question. Actually, let me see if I can show that here, because it's very relevant to the insight that I'm showing. There you go. if you see this insight, this is one of the new insights that we launched this this week, and this shows all of the activity that is happening across all of the different devices. Okay, and it will give you a breakdown of, like, if you look at the circle here, you have what it tells me is that for our website, about 80%, 78.2% of the traffic is coming from mobile apps, basically mobile devices. So that's why you see, if I select this, I have a collection of devices. I get to know not only the operating system, I also get to know the specific device brand itself that is coming here. Okay. But in addition to that, we also see that there is also a small percentage of activity coming from PC desktop. If I go into this, you will see that I have, Apple devices, I have some other unknown devices, and you will see this small device family here. Let's say Spider. So basically, this is basically like all the bot activity that is coming across. Oops, sorry. So, and then that kind of activity can be identified in your tabular data also, where I can see. There you go. So the bot activity, I'm not sure if bots can be tricky, but wherever it is possible, that activity is also captured through this particular insight.
Can you just little zoom in, because I wanted to see what kind of data is zoom
Let
in
me
the
see.
sense, can we click on that and will it get expand?
Yeah, it will expand. So you see generic Android, and you see the Android device model also. It's a little chaotic. So what I can do is, you can always filter the data to a specific time period. So what I'll do is, rather than like go for the full week, I'll just do 6th to the 7th. And maybe
So
I should be
just
a
saying
smaller.
like, oh my God, I love the colorful geometric moving representation. Screen
So if you see now in the last
presentation is,
day, sorry, please.
yeah. She's, yeah, Soumya. So I liked it as well because you see more, there are so many graphical presentations inside the app. You will just literally fall in love with that.
So if you see here, this is our mobile activity. iPhone is about 7.69% of the total mobile ecosystem, but the rest of the activity is all coming from Android, mostly Android, I think. Yeah. And you get to see all of the different devices. So if you are a QA person, this is like, gold mine for you for all your QA use cases and acceptance testings.
Google Analytics does not give this kind of data. They just showcase you the Android or the iOS. That's it. Nothing beyond that. Sometimes they recognize the device, but
Mhm.
most of the time it's just a flat data that we're getting from GA.
Right. Yeah, that is true.
It's very in depth because I can see the Techno Mobile, which is which is less recognized. I don't know people are buying or not, but it is still your app is still recognizing that device. It's awesome.
Thank you, Swapnil. Any other question from anybody?
We can move on.
Okay. The other insight I wanted to show is kind of similar to the engagement score, but this is on an application level. So if you see, let me go back to this application here. So this dev.dynable.com is basically a dummy social publishing application where we keep publishing like different random posts, and then we create some activity there. So in that case, it's got registered users. Now any application, whether it is a B2B application or a B2C application, if you got users using your application, different users have different activity levels. So we have an insight that tells you engagement across multiple applications and multiple clients. But what about within the application? If you want to understand out of all your users, who is the one that is most engaged, then that's where this user engagement insight comes into picture. So if I go into this, I can go into this. This is the application that I'm tracking, and that's the domain. And then once I go into this, it gives me like a breakdown of all the different users. and it shows me like who is the one that's most engaged. So this is basically like a word bubble basically, and then you have all the different users. Um, the size of the username and the color code indicates whether they have a high engagement or a low engagement. So in this case, Moonshots is the user that has the highest engagement. So if I click into that, it will tell me what is their overall score. They have a 65% score. The reason their score is high is because they completed 180 custom actions. It's not just like visiting the site; they actually participated in like posting, commenting, liking, favoriting, all those kind of things. Their average session frequency is seven sessions. Um, and the total session time they spent is 672 minutes in this time period. And then the total actions, like the amount of actions they perform on the site, is close to 3,000. And similarly, you can go into like look at one of the smaller ones, and then you will see like their activity is also low. So all of the scoring here, everything is relative. So it's on a relative scale. So we look at like what is the highest activity, what is the lowest activity, and where do people fall into that. This is
I
just
have
a
a quick,
sample.
yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I have a quick question for that section. If I select any of the user,
Mhm.
just go to these are the data matrix. So this user is having 180 actions. Those are custom actions.
Mhm.
Where I can see the the generic actions. So are these included in the total number of actions?
Yes, they are the total number of actions here.
If I want to segregate that, is there any option to view that what other actions that person has taken?
You mean like understanding like like what are the total actions, what are the custom actions that they've performed?
Yeah, yeah.
So this action actually is available in their activity insight. So if I go into, this is where you can build a dashboard, and you can dive into all these different points. Give me 1 second. So this is the daily utilization chart. Now I can go in here and I can look for moonshots. So this is all the activity that this person performed in this time period, right? And then I can go back to whatever the time period of that particular engagement was calculated. I have to tell a little bit about the engagement calculation. So engagement calculation is done periodically every 15 days because it analyzes every single activity flow of that user, and it does that. So that's why it happens in certain time periods. So if you go back to this time period, if you see between September 1st and today, this user had a total of like 9,600 actions, and out of that, if you can see, oh sorry, wait, here you go. If you see, they've performed actions such as like add, comment, and so on. So this is the one that increases their custom action score.
Got it.
And anything that says page view or click or anything page written, all of those things are
The generic one.
generic actions. Okay. And as I was mentioning earlier, this is done for different time periods. So the activity score is between September 1st and September 17th is 65. And when they come into September 16th and October 1st, the engagement dropped to 53%. Now, this is what you're looking at is just the beginning of an engagement insight. We are also going to be adding bounce rate, and also we're also going to be adding a churn risk to the same insight, which will tell you, in case of this, for example, in this user, if this trend continues to fall, over the successive time periods, then we will throw in an indicator saying that this user is at risk of not using your application. Again, I'm just using an example. If that is the trend that we are seeing, observing with all disengaged users, then it's going to show up as a risk. But if that is a normal pattern where you have people not using the application for a certain time period but then using it every few weeks, then that is also taken into consideration, and that will not be shown as a risk. So, but this user engagement is going to be the beginning of understanding your user engagement and user churn in using the application. And you can do this for every application that you're connected into, not just one or two applications. It'll also show you out of all your users who are the inactive ones. So we have a total of 136 user accounts on this application, but you only see these few users being engaged in this time period. So that is also cause for concern if this is a real application.
Got it. Got it. So those are the the updates which are coming up in the near future.
This week, yes.
This week. Awesome. Awesome. Cool.
So I think we'll be back with more updates next week. We are continuously improving it. We are focusing on performance. We are focusing on stability and usability of the application. So hopefully next week we'll come back with more details. I like your feedback about the account stats insight, Swapnil. So we'll definitely add that, and hopefully we should be able to demonstrate by next week.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my suggestion into consideration. And guys, yes, we are running a lifetime deal on pitchground.com. Uh, this is different app. Like in every webinar, I say this. If you go back and watch the previous webinars or the live streams, in every live stream, I say this. This is something different application. It's not a kind of GA wherein you just track the user activity, how many visitors come and go. Right? It's not like that. You get insightful information, how they perform, what actions they perform, right? And whether, for example, any user has visited your website, right? And in some time he just quit, right? He just exited from your website, but you don't know the reason. But the Qualetics is the only platform which will give you the reason, right? So this is what Qualetics is. Other AI platforms or other analytics platform just gives you the data in the number format or whatever graphical format they have. It will just showcase you that okay, these are the number of visitors visited, these are the bounce rate, and that's it. You are in the clue like you don't have the answer, right? What is the reason behind that bounce rate? Right? If the bounce rate is increasing, you don't know the reason. But Qualetics will give you the insightful information. I'm repeating my sentence again, which tells you, you know, everything about that user. Because right now we just showcase this. You can see this user engagement, right? Who is the top performer? Who is the low performer, right? If you just select that user and go into it, you will see everything. What are the custom actions that you set, and whether that user has taken or performed those actions or not. So that kind of level data you're getting out of Qualetics. And as Soumya, she has commented 2-3 times, like she just fell love into the graphical presentation that Qualetics gives you. So this is Qualetics, guys. Just head over to pitchground.com. The deal is gonna stay for a few weeks more. If I'm not wrong, it will end up within 3 or 4 weeks. So it's right time to go and buy your lifetime deal code of Qualetics. It starts with only $49 for lifetime. That is plan A. Then, as per your needs, you can always go for the higher number of plans. That is plan B, only $98 for lifetime. Plan C, only $147 for lifetime. Plan D, only $196 for lifetime. So that is the highest plan. If you want to go for the highest plan, obviously go for the highest plan, because this kind of software doesn't come on lifetime deal, right? So you need to understand the in depth of this software and grab your lifetime deal code. So that's it. What I want to say today, right? So, and because what happens is most of the companies tend to lose a lot of customers because they can't keep up the ever changing needs of their client. You need to understand the client's need. Basis on that, you can perform the relevant actions inside your app. You can set up some custom events, you can develop it further, you can perform, you can curate your marketing activities as well, right? So don't be into that lot wherein the in that lot where people, most of the companies are losing their customers. So be smart and grab your lifetime deal of Qualetics today. So that's it I wanted to say, because it's an enterprise level great software. You should not miss out, because I don't think so it will come back again. It's a great opportunity to have something in your bucket, right? Wherein you get everything, and one more thing that I wanted to say, that it's not like you get the data into Qualetics, and after some years, if you want to close the Qualetics, you don't want to use it. So anything can be happen, right? But that data belongs to you. You can take that data anywhere, any platform, right? So that data privacy and that data ownership is yours, right? If you're using Google Analytics, if you shut down, so you'll not get that data, right? So that's the difference. You need to understand, because we cannot cover each and everything into this live streaming events, right? If you want to know each and everything what we discussed in the previous events, so just go back and watch our live streaming or the webinars that we had. Lot of things we discussed. We discussed some of the major use cases, like how the SaaS companies, or how the e-commerce companies, or how the WordPress sites can, utilize the full amount of AI and the machine learning capabilities of the Qualetics. So everything we have discussed, just go back. And if you have any questions, team is open to, to onboard you. Team is open to give you the demo, right? You can reach out to any time to them. They're open for feedback and suggestions as well. Right? So this is from my side. Anything you want to add before we wrap up, Sahil and Sumant?
From me, I just wanted to say that just stress that we are going to be ending this deal in a few weeks, so please take action. We do have a free plan on the website, but please don't compare that with the lifetime deal that we have in the PitchGround, because this is far different. Whatever you get from the free plan, is very limited. More restrictions are going to come into that free plan. That's only to give you a preview of what is possible on the platform. But the lifetime deal that we are hosting on PitchGround gives you a lot of additional features that will continue with you. Typically we charge a monthly subscription for those features, but with PitchGround, you're getting all of that for one price at one time. And as we were talking in the last live streaming, if you're able to save one customer from having an issue, or if you're able to fix a bug that can cost you a customer, with the help of this platform, you already recovered your the cost that you spent on Qualetics, and from that point on, you're just making money on this platform. So please take that into account when you're thinking of investing in this product.
So
Thank
before
you.
we wrap up, one question came from Soumya. We'll take that question and we'll wrap up today's session. So she's asking, like, would it track lead gen pop-up and see which is performing better on websites?
As long as you're able to tag it with an action, you should be able to track that also. And then even you can even track UTM codes also, like from external links that you send to your website. We are able to track that UTM code also. You just have to set the filters in the additional data filters, additional data attributes.
Got it, got it. So for that, we need to set up the custom events or the custom actions inside the Qualetics, so that it will give me the data of those perform actions, right?
Exactly. So if I understand correctly, when Soumya is talking about a lead gen pop-ups, so I'm assuming that it's like some kind of a pop-up screen that contains a form, right? So if you're able to, with Qualetics, about 60% of the activity in a JavaScript SDK is automatically tracked. Uh, but you can also add custom actions. So, and you can refer to a documentation site for this. So when you have a lead gen pop-up and you tag it with a specific action name called lead generation, for campaign X, uh, that action is going to show up independently in your Qualtrics dashboard. So you can have any number of such lead gen pop-ups and then track all of them across all the different websites.
So with that note,
Yeah.
we are wrapping up
Swapnil,
today's
before
session.
yeah,
Yeah,
before we
sorry.
wrap up, I just want to, say one thing and continuing from where Sumant, stopped. When you're talking about a customer, look at the customer from a customer lifetime value standpoint, right? So there is this concept in business called LTV, which is the lifetime value of a customer. So even if over here the subscribers subscribe for a lifetime deal paying $196 for the entire lifetime, you're not only going to be recovering that multifold times, like Sumant mentioned, when you get hold of a bug or get hold of an anomaly, right, within your software or within your application. But just imagine if you're able to replicate this over, let's say, 100 or 200 customers, what is the kind of return on investment you're going to be generating over your app's lifetime, whether it's a web mobile server or a software app. So just wanted to kind of end on this note, that this is a pure investment in an asset. Try to look at data as an asset on your balance sheet. Do not look at data as a liability. The more you start looking at data and data points as assets for you, which can generate multifold returns, the better it is. So really wanted to put across this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Sahil. Swapnil, you're on mute, but I think you're adding your closing comments. Thank you, Soumya, for your questions and comments. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Okay, so with that note, guys, we'll be wrapping in. Thank you, Sahil, for elaborating it very nicely. Like it's a one-time investment, and you should invest into the customer's LTV, right? So
Absolutely.
it's the whole game of the customer satisfaction and the customer success, right? So with that note, guys, we are wrapping today's session. Claim your lifetime license deal today. And thank you so much, Sahil and Suman, for taking your precious time out and sharing some valuable information that what are the updates that you have been rolling out and what are the updates are coming up in the near future. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be seeing you in the next live event or the webinar. Till the time, take care, be happy, and keep improving 1% every day and start tracking your data. Thank you. Have a good day, all.
Thank you. Thank you, Swapnil. Thank you.